Hello, friends. Once again, a very warm welcome to Lit E-City, the channel which serves your need regarding preparation for NET and other examinations in the subject of English literature. We are once again back with another quiz, and this time we have taken topic of post-colonial fiction. Now, friends, I need not to highlight or focus the importance of post-colonial studies for a student of English literature residing in India. It is not, we cannot call it an emerging field, rather it is an established field, and there are so many important writers and texts from which frequently questions are asked in your exams. So I suggest that you should thoroughly go through all the important texts by all the writers of post-colonial countries, including India, South Asian countries. We can group them, then African countries, then even Canadian and Australian literature. These writers are also included in this section. I have tried in this particular episode to cover important text, but once again it is not all exhaustive quiz. You should also try to find out to explore other avenues to learn about post-colonial writers and important texts. Okay, moving ahead with our first question for the day. This reputed work of post-colonial writing is penned by Barbara Kingsolver. Barbara Kingsolver, and this particular novel by her is a story told by the wife and four daughters of Nathan Price. Now, Nathan Price, he is a fierce evangelical Baptist who takes his family and mission to the Belgian Congo in 1959. Okay, so Congo here is the colony, and Barbara has presented the clash between the famous clash between the colonizer and the colonized, and their interaction, the tense relationship they share. All these things are covered in this magnificent narrative. You have to find out the answer among these options: the bean trees, homeland, the poisonwood Bible, or pigs in heaven. Okay, let me tell you an interesting fact about the answer, which is the poisonwood Bible. The title refers to the error committed by Nathan Price when instead of saying Jesus is most precious, he in his hurried mispronunciation of the local language, he actually says Jesus is poison wood. That it refers, the title refers to his error and also his inability to mingle up with the local community and local dialect. Okay, our next question, friends, is this Persian born novelist whose works are difficult to categorize. They are so diverse, they cross sections, generally conventions which are related to works. These works by this novelist, they cross this line. Famously claimed to write a work of inner space fiction. This is the most important term associated with this writer: inner space fiction. And the reason is there is never anywhere to go but in. So the novels by this writer explore the psychic spaces of the characters. The characters, basically their innermost thoughts are explored, which is basically a hallmark of all almost postmodern and even post-war literature. So the options are Jean Rice, Doris Lessing, J.M. Coetzee, and Nadine Gordimer. These all four four are very, very important writers, my dear friends. I must say here that you must go through all the important works by these four writers. There are Nobel Prize winners among these, so you can understand the importance of their work. Okay, the answer for this particular question is obviously, if you know, inner space fiction. This term is associated with Doris Lessing. She is Zimbabwean, or at that time it was called Southern Rhodesia. She belonged to there, but she was born in Persia, modern day Iran, and then she also resided in England, and she wrote so many novels. She wrote mystic novels, she wrote political novels, and obviously novels about post-colonial issues. A great novelist to read about and to study. Okay, our next question. Annie John, an acclaimed work of post-colonial fiction, tells the story of a young girl's coming of age. So it's a sort of Bildungsroman in colonized Antigua. Now we shift to Caribbean part, Antigua, and it also covers issues like mother-daughter relationships, lesbianism, racism in an evocative colonized-colonizer debate. The writer of this work is Jamaica Kincaid, Maya Angelou, Wendy Cochlear Thompson, or Zora Neale Hurston. Once again, dear friends, these four writers, all of them are women writers, black writers. All of them have very provocative and impactful voice. They have set the mark for their community to express. They have expressed the issues related with the marginalized section, double marginalized section of their community and their race. You have to find out the writer of this novel. Yes, dear friends, the answer is Jamaica Kincaid. Now, Jamaica Kincaid, her original name is Ellen Porter Richardson, and she is a Caribbean American writer. These other also are related with either African or Caribbean background, and they all are basically now the American citizens and writing about black issues. Our next question, dear friend, is this highly mesmerizing narrative by Monique T.D. Truong, a Vietnamese American writer, centers on Ben, who has been the live-in cook for Gertrude Stein and Alice B. Toklas. It's a very interesting, there is some fiction and some fact blended in this particular novel. It is said that it is based on true account of the cook who served Stein and Toklas during war period, and the novel explored themes of sexuality, diaspora, race, and national identity. It's a very interesting work. And now let me add here that when we talk about post-colonial fiction, we need not to limit ourselves to Africa or Caribbean or South Asia, typical India and other large countries. There are narratives by small countries like Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, which are also highly evocative of the images of post-colonial debates. Similarly, in this particular strain, this novel is written by Monique T.D. Truong. So your options are The Book of Salt, Bitter in the Mouth, The Sweetest Fruits, Catfish, and Mandala. Dear friends, out of these four books, the Catfish and Mandala, it is not written by Monique Truong. It is written by Andrew Pham. Now, Andrew Pham is himself a Vietnamese American writer. All these three books, The Book of Salt, Bitter in the Mouth, and The Sweetest Fruits, they all are by Monique Truong, and this particular novel is The Book of Salt. It's a very interesting and very important work. Please, if you have this time, if you find resources, please go through at least summary of this work. Okay, friends. Our next question is about Rohinton Mystery. He is almost all of us are have knowledge about him. He is the acclaimed Indo-Canadian writer, and he set this novel in 1970s India, time of turbulence, and it follows basically four characters. Dina, she is an old lady. Ishwar and Om Prakash, they both are basically they both belong to a lower community, Shumanders, and Manek, who is a student, and how they four come to interact with each other over a period of around 15 years. I must add here that this particular novel is a very harsh critique of the emergency period in India, the political emergency which was ruled by which was given as a rule by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, the then Prime Minister of India. All novels of Rohinton Mystery basically they carry this idea of family tensions and such a long journey, then basically a fine balance, family matters. These three are the most important works, and here I must add the Scream is not exactly a novel, it is a novella by Rohinton Mystery. The answer for this particular question is a fine balance. Let me add here some facts. For example, such a long journey. It is about a hard-working bank clerk, Gustave Noble, who is a member of Parsi community and a devoted family man who is struggling to keep his wife Dil Nawaz and three children out of poverty. On the other hand, family matters. It is about an old Parsi widower, Nariman Wakil, who is beset by Parkinson's disease, and he is haunted by the memories of the past. So he always, Rohinton Mystery, always put the idea of life and family together and creates beautiful narratives. Okay, moving ahead for our next question. Very important work, The Lonely Londoners. It is an epic tale of black immigrants, especially those who are coming from West Indies, arriving in Great Britain after World War II. They are in search of some opportunity. They want to improve the condition of their lives. Various characters share their stories through the central narrative of Moses. Moses is the central character. There are various, the narrative technique is very unique and innovative. There is no linear narration of the story, rather different characters present their perspective. Now you have to tell who is the writer of this much acclaimed novel. Is it Michael Anthony, Sam Selvon, C.L.R. James, or Earl Lovelace? All these are very prominent post-colonial voices residing in Britain. And among these all, the answer for this particular question is Sam Selvon. My dear friends, note down this name, Sam Selvon. He is a prominent voice in post-colonial fiction. Moving ahead, this novel presents the story of an English professor living in the post-apartheid Africa who suffers through two divorces, a mediocre position at a Cape Town university, and he is forced to resign after he pretty much sexually assaults one of his students. The later part of the novel deals with his relationship with his daughter and how he basically resigns to the we can say complex web of the life. Is it So Long a Letter by Mariama Ba, or is it A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mystery, or A Small Place by Jamaica Kincaid, or by J.M. Coetzee. So, among these, So Long a Letter, Mariama Ba, who is a Senegalese writer, it is basically a semi-autobiographical epistolary novel. It was originally written in French language, so it is not the answer. Fine Balance, we have already discussed. It basically changes in Indian society from independence in 1947 to the period of emergency. Then we have A Small Place, Jamaica Kincaid. It is a book length essay. It is not a novel, it is an essay. It draws on Kincaid's experiences growing up in Antigua. And so our answer, dear friend, is Disgrace by J.M. Coetzee. So this novel is very popular work of post-colonial fiction. Okay, let's talk about our next question. Set in southern Rhodesia, which is now called Zimbabwe, during 1940s, The Grass is Singing, a very popular work. It is the first novel by British Nobel Prize winning author Doris Lessing. Central plot line of the novel: either it is the murder of a poor white woman by her black houseboy, the story of writer Anna Wolf, her four notebooks, and her attempt to tie them together in a fifth gold-colored notebook, the life of drifter Elise, who squats with a group of radicals in London and is drawn into their terrorist activities. Basically, here squats means living in an inhabited, unclaimed area, and then they basically immigrants who don't have any other we can say place of shelter. They are called squatters, and police time to time take action against these. Or the last one option is traces life of Martha Quest from her teens to her becoming a typist. All these lines are from one of the novels by Doris Lessing. The story of writer Anna Wolf, this is the golden notebook. We can easily understand by this reference. Elise, this basically comes from the good terrorist, and this is the famous Martha Quest. This is basically a tetralogy, a series of four novels for which Doris Lessing is very much known and acclaimed. So the answer, The Grass is Singing, it is about the murder of a poor white woman by her black houseboy. Okay. Our next question, acclaimed as the greatest active playwright in the English-speaking world, this South African playwright is known for his political plays opposing the system of apartheid. His celebrated works include Master Harold and the Boys, The Blood Knot. These are some very popular plays by this particular South African playwright. The name for that person is it Ethel Fugard, Ben Voss, Gibson Kent, or Dana Snyman? Let me in passing tell you that Gibson Kent, he is 1 minute. I was telling you that Gibson Kent is known as father of black theatre in South Africa, but answer for this particular question, dear friend, is Ethel Fugard. This is the right answer. Okay, moving ahead with our next questions. Poems are bullshit unless they are teeth or trees or lemon piled on a step or black ladies dying of men living nickel hearts beating them down. These are lines taken from the very popular and very famous poem Black Art. Now you have to tell me the name of the poet of the this particular poem, Black Art. It was considered as a manifesto of the black literature in America. Is it Rita Dove or Imamu Amiri Baraka, Larry Neal, or Jay Wright? Yes, dear friends, I hope you all know the answer to this question. It is Amiri Baraka, and his black art basically it paved the way for a great impetus. It proved to be a great impetus for the black literature, which basically thrived in the late 60s and 70s. Winner of the Booker Prize in 1985, The Bone People. It is written by Carrie Hume. It is a story of Caravan, who is a despairing artist, and it is about the clash between the local tribe and European characters. Now you have to tell the local tribe with which the European characters are in clash. Is it about Igbo tribe or Trinidadian tribe or Aboriginal Australians or Maori people? Maori who are found in New Zealand, Aboriginal Australian, it is very clear, Trinidadian, and Igbo, they are found in South Africa, Nigerian and Kenyan area. Here the answer, Carrie Hume, she belongs to New Zealand, so the answer is Maori. Our next question is, Running in the Family is an inspired travel narrative and family memoir by the Booker Prize winner writer who records his deeply personal journey to the land of his birth, recounting how his family's extraordinary history continues to influence his life. He is writer of one of the most popular novels of post-colonial fiction, which was adapted into a movie which won almost 9 Oscars, and you can understand the popularity of the work, the popularity of the writer. And let me tell you, give you a hint, and I think after giving this hint, the answer will be very easy. The birthplace, the memories of the place he is talking about in Running in the Family is Sri Lanka. So the options are Michael Ondanchi, V.S. Naipaul, Rohinton Mistry, or Derek Walcott. After giving option, it becomes clear that we are talking about Michael Ondanchi. He is a Sri Lankan born writer, and this particular work, Running in the Family, this basically points out how he takes a journey back, a return journey, and spend times with his family and younger generations, and learns many lessons which he carries in his memory. Next question, recreating a seminal moment in modern African history, which is Biafra's struggle to establish an independent republic in Nigeria. And this particular work, Half of a Yellow Sun, this is a remarkable novel about the end of colonialism, about ethnic allegiances, and about class and race. Who is the writer of this particular novel? Once again, I must tell you, this is a very important work because it very clearly brings out the tensions, the exploitation, the reactions of the colonizer and the colonized. So is it Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Ben Okri, Buchi Emecheta, or Amos Tutuola? All these are very popular South African writers, and among these the answer is Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. It is her work, which this Half of a Yellow Sun, which is remarkable for its tenacity to the facts. Okay, our next question, dear friends, set in the waning days of Dutch colonial rule in Java, this novel is the first of the 4 books of Pramodaya Anantatur Buru Quartet. Buru Quartet is very popular work by this Indonesian writer Pramodaya Anantatur. It is a powerful story about Mink, the first native Javanese boy to attend an elite Dutch colonial high school, and his struggle against colonial oppression. Buru Quartet was written when Pramodia, he was basically held as a political prisoner for a long time until 1979. So spending almost 10 years on the brutal, very brutal Buru prison. And there he composed this Buru Quartet, and this is the first novel of Buru Quartet. The options are The Fugitive, Child of All Nations, This Earth of Mankind, and The Girl from the Coast. And the answer, which is very important one, is This Earth of Mankind. Okay, Child of the Nation is the second of this series. The Fugitive is the first work written by Pramodaya, and Girl from the Coast is his later work. So the last question for the day, a landmark of post-colonial African literature, Wizard of the Crow, which is set in the fictional Free Republic of Aburia and comically dramatizes a clash between a dictator and an unemployed young man who embraces the mantle of a magician. It is full of comical gags, and it points out the we can say in a very subversive way the working of the colonial law and neo-colonialism. The options are Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Cici Dangaremba, Marlon James, or Ngugi wa Thiong'o. These all are prominent voices, younger voices of African and post-colonial literature. The answer for this particular language is Ngugi wa Thiong'o. He is basically a Kenyan writer. Basically, he writes in Gikuyu language, which is language of Bantu people, and then he translates his work. And this Wizard of the Crow is one of the main works by Ngugi wa Thiong'o. Okay, dear friends, so this is all about post-colonial writers quiz this time. I hope you have enjoyed and your mind has been stimulated by these questions. I request you to go through seriously about all these writers and many other writers who are considered to be the, we can say, helmsmen of post-colonial literature. It is a very important scope. It has very, we can say, detailed scope of research, and you can find many emerging writers also who are writing new experiences, who are writing about neo-colonialism. So here, thanking you once again for your support, and please keep posting your reviews, your ideas, and how can we make this channel more worthy of your time. Thank you, friends.